This is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them.
We want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call Haloyim, La Yahweh,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. We say Shalom. This is the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. I got the brother Bakar with me.
Shalom, shalom.
We're back at it again this week with another Mark of the Beast update. We did a video last week with a bunch of the brothers from our camp, basically because, you know, it's unprecedented. Situation occurred where Russia is supposed to be the first country to come out with a workable COVID, workable or a usable COVID-19 vaccine. And basically, it's an article saying that not only is Russia going to roll it out on their citizens, there is other countries that's going to actually basically, you know, purchase this said vaccine. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into this article. Lord willingly, it's an edifying video. This is a CNN.com article. It says Russia's unproven COVID-19 vaccine will be available to other countries by November, funder says, but safety concerns remain. This is authored by Helen Reagan, CNN, and it was updated at 3:05 a.m. Last Wednesday, August 12th. It says CNN, Russia's coronavirus vaccine will be gradually rolled out to high-risk people before a mass vaccination of Russians begins in October, the head of the group funding the research said on Wednesday. Russian President Vladimir Putin.
And it said October in there too.
Right.
And the title, it said November.
To show you the confusion. You know what I mean? You know, that's why you can't trust this devil. Tell you a scripture in the book of Ecclesiasticus, never trust thine enemy. Why don't you bring that out real quick? Because at the end of the day, like I said, what people feel to realize is, you know, you got a lot of people that sit up there and admire Putin and, you know, and admire, you know, these Russians thinking that they're a totally different group of people, but they're Edomites as well. You know what I mean? So, you know, at the end of the day, and like we brought out last week, you got to remember, when you go into, you know, Vladimir Putin, he was like the head of the KGB. So he you know, he's a trained spy master. You know what I mean? Like, he trained a lot to the people. You know what I mean? You got it.
This is Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
And like the brother pointed out, you literally, in the title of the article, it says in November, but yet still in the first paragraph it's saying it'll be ready in October. So, you know what I mean, don't be surprised if these people have it ready the last week of September. You know what I mean? Like, never trust thine enemy. You gonna bring some more out or go back in the article?
You go back to the article.
It says Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the approval of a coronavirus vaccine for use on Tuesday, claiming it as a world first amid continued concern and unanswered questions over its safety and effectiveness.
So he's saying it's basically guaranteed that
right.
this vaccine gonna do the job.
Yeah.
And that shows you that you can't trust them, because if they got their dates messed up when they go release it, how much more for the actual vaccine being beneficial for the people?
Well, not just that, because you got to remember, like I say, at the end of the day, it takes most vaccines years to actually go through test trials and all that. This is the first time in history anything has been remotely done like this. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then he's talking about he used his daughter as, I ain't gonna say a guinea pig, but, you know, his daughter's supposed to take in the medicine. I mean, I don't believe that. I don't quite believe that, but, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I know that they're not even out of the different trials. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got different countries that's all working on a vaccine. And I know most countries ain't even, it's certain phases of the trials that they go by. And, I believe in this article it says that they're not even out of the third phase of the trials yet. So how do you have a working vaccine? You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, never trust our enemy. It says back in the article, speaking to CNN's Anderson Cooper and Dr. Sanjay Gupta on Tuesday, Russian Direct Investment Fund, RDIF. Ain't that something? RDIF.
Down.
Right. RDIF. All you gotta do is take that RFID here. It says Russian Direct Investment Fund head Kirill Dmitriev said safety is at the core of the vaccine. We know the technology works and we will publish the data in August and in September to demonstrate that. Dmitry said, developed by the Moscow-based Gamaleya Institute, the vaccine has yet to go through crucial phase 3 trials in which it would be administered to thousands of people. Putin says Russia has approved world first COVID-19 vaccine, but questions over its safety remain. Russia hasn't released any scientific data on its testing, and CNN is unable to verify the vaccine's claimed safety or effectiveness. The rollout in Russia will be very gradual. We are not going to give it to 10 million people tomorrow, Dmitry said, adding that frontline medical workers and people who are at high risk of contracting the coronavirus will be first in line to voluntarily receive the vaccine. Following a planned mass rollout among Russians in October, Dmitry said the vaccine will be made available to other countries around November. He claimed they have already received pre-orders. He claimed they have already received pre-orders for billions of doses of the vaccine. Brazil's Paraná state is set to sign a cooperation agreement for testing the vaccine, according to the statement from the Russian embassy.
You got Brazil using the same vaccine as Russia using.
When it's available. Brazil is aware of all the vaccine studies under development and guarantees that as soon as it has access to a vaccine that is proven to be effective against COVID-19, Brazilians will have access to it. So they saying the first vaccine that's actually available on market, that's who they jumping on. And like you said,
and they already took pre-orders.
Right. Right. Brazilians will have access to it, the Brazil health minister told CNN on Wednesday. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has also backed Russia's COVID-19 studies, saying in a Monday news briefing that he would volunteer to take the first dose of the vaccine in public, according to CNN affiliate CNN Philippines. His comments came after Moscow offered to supply the vaccine to the Philippines. The Philippine Department of Health reportedly said its officials were in talks with the RDIF over doses and setting up manufacturing laboratories in the Philippines. But any vaccine would need to go through local processes and Philippine Food and Drug Administration approval, the president said, according to CNN Philippines. Russian insists vaccine is safe, but questions abound. Putin claimed a victory in the global race to create an effective COVID-19 vaccine comes amid suggesting that Russia cut essential corners in its development. Russia enacted a law in April which eliminated the requirement. Wow. So pay attention to this. It says Russia enacted a law in April which eliminated the requirement for phase 3 trials. So the most crucial trials is the ones that they basically, that's why they saying they basically got a vaccine that's literally approved. But usually you got to go through that step of the phase 3. When you read the...
Oh, they eliminated the requirement to go through the phase.
Right. So they just... in
April. So they already planned this out.
So that show you, so once again, never trust thine enemy. You know what I'm saying? If this is such a crucial step, this third phase of testing a drug, how could you possibly say it's going to be effective or it's approved or it's going to be, beneficial if you haven't even tested it? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. This has allowed researchers to fast-track the vaccine development process. Dimitri said that during the pandemic, the law allowed them to run phase 3 trials concurrently with launching the vaccine. So basically, they're going to run the trials while they launching it. So basically, now they're about to run the trials while they didn't say it's approved. So literally, if it ain't a working vaccine, but you done already, you done already basically you done already got orders for this shit, so you gonna send it out. It could be like an I Am Legend moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, right? Like, I mean, you got people that already paid money. That's just like with America, because America ain't the. I mean, they're not the only ones that did it. America did it too. America's supposed to bought so many doses of it from I think it's Pfizer. I would have to look it up, but it's a company. America already pre-ordered a whole bunch of doses of a vaccine, because America dealing with more than one company that's creating a vaccine. But I know for a fact they bought so many millions of doses already. It says we're launching the vaccine to high-risk groups, which we are doing, and we believe it is exactly the right approach. Phase 3 trials are set to start on Wednesday. Russia with 2,000 participants. The United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, and Mexico will begin the trials on August 12th, according to the new Sputnik 5 website.
Damn. So people are already getting this vaccine. People
Ooh, Lord, cold.
Mexico, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and in the thousands, people by the thousands, lining up getting this vaccine already, and they've been getting this since the 12th, and now it's the 17th.
Okay.
Then the Philippines go trying to get the same vaccine soon too.
The bar is necessarily set very high for criteria that must be satisfied for approval after phase 3 clinical trials. Danny Altman, professor of immunology at Imperial College London, told the Science Media Center, the collateral damage from release of any vaccine that was less than safe and effective would exacerbate our current problems insurmountably. I hope these criteria have been followed. We are all into. It says we are all in this together. I don't know if you want me to keep on reading or what. That's pretty much it.
God, man, this is a good article here.
Oh, but here, I got some more. Bringing this out, might as well. It says related article. It says exclusive. Russia says foreign inquiries about its potential fast-track COVID-19 vaccine are pouring in, but questions abound. On Tuesday, Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said he has serious doubts the Russian vaccine is ready for widespread use. I hope the Russians have he said, I hope that the Russians have actually definitively proven that the vaccine is safe and effective. I seriously doubt that they've done that, Fauci told Deborah Roberts of ABC News for a National Geographic event to broadcast Thursday. A portion of the interview was posted by National Geographic on Tuesday. Fauci said that having a vaccine and proving it is safe and effective are two different things. We have half a dozen or more vaccines, he said. So if we wanted to take the chance of hurting a lot of people, again, yes, God, see, that's the spirit. I need to read this because I just made a statement. Like I said, I told you, America dealing with a whole bunch of companies. They saying he said we have half a dozen or more vaccines, he said. So if we wanted to take the chance, hurting a lot. Now this is Fauci, hurting a lot of people or giving them something that doesn't work. We could start doing this, next week if we wanted to, but that's not the way it works. 6 pharmaceutical companies, including Moderna and Pfizer, have reached deals with the U.S. government to develop a COVID-19 vaccine as part of the federal push to curb the pandemic. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has previously said it would only approve a vaccine if it meets a 50% efficiency requirement. U.S. Health and now listen to that shit. So they saying it only got to work, be effect.
Because they already in April they already cut the requirements.
That was in Russia, I wouldn't assume. Oh. So yeah, but you probably right though. So take the time to think about it. They making it seem like Russia's so full of shit, but you doing the same thing.
Right.
And that's
it's about America.
Right.
All right, come on.
But like you said though, at the end they saying pretty much the same thing. Even if they didn't cut it, like Russia did. It said if it meets a 50% efficiency requirement. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said on Tuesday that the United States has strict safety standards and this is not a race to be first. We will require any vaccine in the United States be safe and effective and meet the FDA's gold standard. Azar said during a news conference from Taipei, where he was meeting with Taiwanese leaders to discuss COVID-19. Azar said that 2 of the 6 vaccines the U.S. government invested in entered phase 3 clinical trials weeks ago. So, right, like I said, it's not by coincidence. And then what was the end of that article before? Because this is like 3 separate articles in one. If that's why it's such a good article, like you said. At the end of the day, what did they say? They said we all in it together. It's very coincidental and funny that Russia talking about they going to have theirs ready by a certain time. But Trump said he was going to have maybe the vaccine be ready by September, October. It's funny they put all these same, like similar dates. Because they all in it together. You know what I'm saying? It says phase 3 clinical trial.
And that's how the elites and top people communicate through TV shows and
these papers and all that.
And all of that. That's how they communicate with each other. They might speak it in codes or say it a certain way. So the person on wherever he at in the country or in the world, they looking at like, okay, yeah. So like you can have him saying we all in this together, then all the other countries looking at like, yeah, we in this together.
Okay. It says, Azar said that 2 of the 6 vaccines the U.S. government invested in entered phase 3 clinical trials weeks ago, and he noted that data from the initial Russian trials has not been disclosed. In a statement emailed Tuesday, the World Health Organization said it is in contact with Russian scientists and authorities and look forward to reviewing details of the trials. According to the WHO, or World Health Organization, there are 28 vaccines in human trials around the world. Ooh.
And that's a spirit. That's a series of vaccines.
Where you going?
All right, come on. All right, this Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So yeah, this, because these mandatory vaccines, well, these voluntary vaccines that will turn into mandatory vaccines, is being global around the earth, and that's leading up to the chip, because the chip is going to be global and the chip is going to be mandatory. They could do the same thing with the chip at first. When they come out, they might, all right, you go voluntary, got this out.
Let me just interject real quick. Like I say, that's just the spirit. Because like I say, I won't even say they voluntarily. I mean, they putting that on paperwork, but then like they said, like the brothers was talking about how they passed that legislation talking about you couldn't microchip certain people. You know what I mean? They passed a law where they're saying that you can't microchip them. But then all it takes is for something to happen, and they're gonna change that law. You get what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, you know, because like I said, right now you know, like they already got it out there. Like, you know what I mean? People saying that or they already made so many statements about how it's not going to be like voluntary, like where it's going to be mandatory for you to be able to do this. So they're, I mean, like, you know, and they already programming you with that. Like at one point, they weren't even really talking about what happens if you don't take the vaccine, will you lose your. Now they talking about that in mainstream media, like you saying that on Fox News and shit like that. So that letting you know, like, you know, they gradually, and that's all subconscious programming too. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, and then you got people so tired of, you know, how everything has like progressed. This whole, you know, 2020, they hate 2020 so bad. They hoping to get back to what you call normal, when America's never really been normal for certain groups of people. You know what I mean? Like some people love this shit, but some people can see this for what it is. You know what I mean? You got people that's literally can't wait to take a vaccine. I just heard a stupid ass person just say that just like prior to you come and get me. You got people sitting up there talking about, oh yeah, this gonna be going on to next year. You know what I mean? And can't wait to get some kind of solution from they oppressor. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like I say, I just wanted to interject because it's going beyond voluntary. Like they saying that voluntary shit, but it's gonna be voluntary to like the article we brought out that said voluntary. I mean, they said basically you couldn't force it on a pregnant woman until they come up with a vaccine that's specifically designed for pregnant people. You know what I mean? Like they got 28 vaccines in the making. You know what I'm saying? This is a worldwide thing. All these companies stand to make big dollar. You don't think it's a company out there that's coming up with a vaccine specifically for pregnant people? Right. You know what I mean? You got it.
So yeah, these vaccines is just gonna lead to the chip, you know, because that's their ultimate goal is to get everybody chipped, you know. And and the easiest way to do it is if they got these people heads. Like first they had them get everybody wearing the mask and before wearing the mask, everybody in the house, go in the house, stay in the house. No, before that, buy toilet paper, buy all the hand sanitizer, buy the toilet paper. That's what everybody did, bought hand sanitizer and toilet paper. Then now go in the house, everybody in the house, or now the mask. You know, everybody got a mask on now. The vaccine, everybody taking the vaccine. The chip, everybody was taking the chip. They trying to put in these people's heads to be under their control, under the elite's control. And that ultimate goal is gonna be that chip.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I mean, yeah, basically it's all leading up to the chip, and everything is in. You know, Esau does a thing called gradualism because Esau actually is like the ultimate manipulator, the ultimate hustler. You know what I mean? Ultimate swindler. You know what I mean? Like I said, what he first did was crash the economy. You know what I mean? I mean, it ain't completely crashed, but he crashed it. Believe that. That's why all these people out of work. That's a crashed economy. And there's no way. You know, what's that guy named Glenn Beck? He has a show on YouTube. I think it's called Blaze. He was talking to somebody and basically like these is Edomites. They literally saying like basically they didn't want to believe it, but they literally could see this is over with. Like they literally came out there, you know, they said they didn't want to say it and admit to it, but you can clearly see there's no coming back from this. So when they crashed them economies, you took away people's means to make their, you know, because you had a lot of businesses fail, you had a lot of jobs close up and stores close up. So basically it put people in a position where they had to rely on the government, especially from that unemployment. But now you got people ain't getting that unemployment from the federal government. You know what I'm saying? So now you got people more of in a trick bag. What it tell you in scripture, a gift destroyeth the heart. So like I said, that gift that these, you know, this government, Esau, they, you know, these 2/3 daddies, you know what I mean? You know, they wicked daddy, then got them accustomed to getting them nice checks, and now you about to go at least 2-3 weeks without that. You know what I mean? So a desperate person is going to do whatever it takes. If it's a vaccine, to your whole family got to get it vaccinated to go ahead and get back into that system so they can receive, you know, what happens. I mean, let's really be realistic. They can pop up and call themselves not situating or fixing the whole passing the bill for people to start getting that because, you know, Trump supposed to did an executive order where he made it where people gonna get $300 plus whatever they was getting from the state to try to call themselves helping because of, you know, the pandemic and, you know, people being out of the work. But that's not gonna take effect, and they don't even know exactly when that's gonna take effect. So what if it doesn't take effect until the time when they got the vaccine ready? How many people gonna take that vaccine
to get that unemployment?
Right, a lot.
Or to keep their job.
You got it.
Right, because hey, that's how the chip go be. You ain't gonna be able to buy or sell without taking the chip. You ain't gonna be able to travel, do nothing unless you have that chip.
And this is the precursor to that. So that's how you can see they're bringing slowly but surely bringing in the mark of the beast system. You get what I'm saying? Like like you said, without this vaccine, you're not gonna be able to travel. You ain't gonna be able to, like I said, probably work a job. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be able to live in certain places. You know what I mean? That government subsidized housing, you think they gonna let you in government housing that government pay for without taking no vaccines? Like, right. You got it.
All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We're not ignorant of this vaccine being a trick bag, being a bait to get everybody microchip, getting everybody having a chip implanted into them. Because this is a global thing, and the chip will be global. And by this vaccine being mandatory and being pushed more, and if you want to be a part of society, you gotta take the vaccine. That's how you know they're gonna do the same thing with the chip. That the vaccine is just the test run for it. Sure.
Got anything else? So with that, we're gonna wrap it up right there. Lord willingly, this was an edifying lesson, and we're gonna break out. We're gonna say and give all praise. Call Haloyim, La Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Once again, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and sincerity and risking their lives, their freedom to do so. Shalom to your loved ones and to all the sincere Akim. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations. Appearing like the other nations but subscribing to the truth. To you, I say Shalom. Lord willingly, brothers, keep fighting. You know, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. This is for you. Repent. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, or be destroyed. And with that, Shalom, Shalom, and Abad Babor.
Abad Babor.
Shalom.
Shalom.